Oh, Sean Hannity, I have got a major bone to pick with you, my friend. A major bone. Because you went on your show the other night and blatantly lied about the organizers of the American Patriot Rally in Michigan. Okay, maybe you didn't lie because I really think you just didn't bother to find out what the truth is. But I'm sorry, when you have a national show on a major network, you should hold yourselves to some damn higher standards. Now listen, Sean, I know that you've said over and over and over again, you're not a journalist, I'm not a journalist, I'm a talk show host, but frankly, that's not good enough for me because I'm a psychologist. I'm a psychologist with a little rinky-dink YouTube channel with 23,000 subscribers that I run my mouth on, and magically, somehow, I was able to engage in acts of journalism when it comes to talking about the efforts of everyday Americans. So let's hear what you had to say about the organizers of the American Patriot Rally. Everyone has a right to protest, protect themselves, and try to get the country open, the host says as video roll of Thursday's protest in Lansing. This, with the militia look here, these long guns, oh no, show of force is dangerous, that puts our police at risk, and by the way, your message will never be heard, whoever you people are. No one should be attempting to intimidate officials with a show of force, and God forbid something happens, the host continued, then we're all going to go after us, a law-abiding Second Amendment people. Let's just start with the first point, Sean. Whoever you people are, whoever you are. I'm going to just posit that you have an entire production team for your show. Is that right? Do you have an entire team of people helping you to produce your show? I don't have anyone. I am myself, and I do this in my spare time, and I was able to get in touch with the organizers of this rally and find out exactly who they were with next to zero effort. I posted a video 2 days ago on this channel saying, gee, I would really like to talk to these organizers. 23,000 subscribers, not that big of a reach. But within 3 hours of it going online, the organizers had reached out to me. And so I got to have a little chat with them on this channel yesterday, which shows emphatically that you don't know what you're talking about, Sean. When you're running your mouth on your nationally freaking syndicated show, you should exercise just a little bit of journalistic responsibility. And listen, I don't care when you go after well-known people who have purposely put themselves in the public eye, but when we're talking about average everyday people who are standing up, trying to do the right thing, and you rake their name through the mud without bothering to reach out and even try to figure out who they were? Well, let's answer that first question, Sean. Let's answer the question of who the organizers for the American Patriot Rally were.
Thanks, Carlin. Appreciate you having us here. My name is Ryan Kelly. I live in West Michigan. I'm a real estate broker out here, married. I got 4 kids, one on the way, due next month. So love spending some time with my kids. Relatively active in the community around West Michigan, and this whole COVID-19 pandemic progression has got very weird in Michigan and other places around the country and has shifted into more of a government overreach. Jason and I, about a week or so into all of the pandemic announcements, started putting things together in our head about what was really going on. And that led into, as things progressed with our governor here in Michigan, overstepping constitutional rights in a lot of ways, to a formation of a team that put together the American Patriot Rally, which was a huge, massive success last week.
All right, fantastic. And we'll talk more about that success. But Jason, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Jason Howland. I am a sales systems developer and trainer. I train salespeople for companies to help them scale. I'm not a political activist typically. I mean, I stay informed and stay involved, but for the most part, just watching my clients struggle through this got me thinking. And when Ryan, I think, called me one morning, I happened to be at a client's office and he goes, "What do you think of all this?" And from that what do you think all this question, we kind of rolled into a huge rally and becoming this team of really awesome individuals that have done some really cool stuff and continue to.
All right, Sean. So that answers question number 1 of who the heck these people are, because you didn't bother to actually have anyone on your team try to figure it out. Let's answer question number 2. Did they put the police at risk with their rally? Spoiler alert, no, they didn't. Ryan, when we were speaking the other day, you told me that you had the complete support of law enforcement, and you actually coordinated with law enforcement in putting on this rally. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I'll try to keep it short because this might be a boring part, right? I did permit myself, I did get a permit issued from the city of Lansing, and the law enforcement, city of Lansing police, helped us with traffic control, made sure the main thing I said to them was do not allow the hospital to be obstructed at all. That needs to be manned with law enforcement police officers so that it is unobstructed. We did get a permit issued by the state capitol building for us to be there. We met with law enforcement ahead of time before the rally, a few days before the rally. We met with law enforcement on the day of the rally. We worked with law enforcement the entire time. They were extremely cooperative with us. We let them know that we were not there to tell them how to do their job, to get involved with them doing their job. They helped us out in a few instances. They were very much in communication with us and with the militia guys, right? That's another big one too. We have pictures of the militia and the state police together, right?
I'm going to bring up a picture right now. How about that one?
Inside the state capitol building. So they were very cooperative. They were very good to work with. They issued 0 warnings to anybody about anything. And it was great to work with them on this whole thing. They were very supportive of what we were doing.
Yeah. But what about the claim that these big bad militiamen who we just saw posing with law enforcement officers and looking pretty happy, but what about the claim that they were just trying to intimidate officials? Let's hear what the actual organizers of the actual rally had to say about that.
The reality is it wasn't what they said. Nobody stormed the Capitol. We all got our temperatures taken. We all walked in past the police who led us into the Capitol, which in Michigan has an open carry law on Capitol property. So nobody broke a law. I did see one image where it looked like a guy was screaming at the police. It's a pretty famous image now. And I've heard lots of stories about that. But if you look at that image very closely, he's not screaming at the police. He's screaming between them. They're standing in front of the door that leads to the hall where Congress was voting at that moment. We were all screaming because we wanted them to hear our message, vote no, which was the chant, vote no, vote no, vote no. And that was happening, and we got what we wanted. So no matter what the media says about it, we got what we wanted, haha media.
But what about Sean's really final point, which is your message will never be heard, whoever you people are. Let's hear from the organizers about why they feel that their rally was actually a massive success and their message absolutely was heard.
Without getting into too many of the technical details, our governor here in Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, issued a state of emergency at the beginning of this. That's when the stay-at-home orders rolled out. She's allowed a certain amount of time to issue the state of emergency. And then after that expiration, she needs the House to extend it for her, the legislator. So they extended it for her. And that expiration of the extension ended on April 30th. The American Patriot Rally was specifically organized to happen at the state capitol on April 30th as the Senate was in session to vote on the extension of the state of emergency declaration. If they were to extend that, she gets to keep all of her executive order powers, all of her special emergency powers, and basically makes her a dictator. We were there with a very specific message that we wanted to encourage and support that the Senate do not extend that state of emergency declaration and strip her of her powers to issue additional executive orders and to issue additional stay-at-home measures. It was a huge success because while we were there, the Senate elected to not extend the state of emergency declaration. So our very specific message that people got behind and showed up by the thousands in the rain, in the heavy rain at the state capitol in support of this was a huge success. They did not extend the state of emergency declaration.
Now, were you in contact with any of the elected representatives who are actually taking that vote, and what type of feedback did you receive from them?
We have been. We've spoke with several different elected representatives, and it's interesting enough. During the rally, there was a gentleman there. We had Sheriff David Clark was there, Brandon was there, so we had some bigger name speakers. But we also highlighted Michiganders that are struggling, and they were just regular people like you and I that were there to tell their story of how they're being affected. And one of those guys happens to know Mike Shirkey, which is the Senate Majority Leader. And this gentleman, the guy that was speaking there, just said, "Hey, I have Mike's number. I know Mike. He just texted me and said that we're going to stand up to Whitmer today." So I'm like, "Oh, you got to come over here to the microphone, right?" And he said, "Hey, Mike just texted me and said that they're going to stand up to Gretchen Whitmer today." And the crowd goes crazy. Yeah. So, they knew that we were outside and we were there to support them. And that, our message was clear and their message back to us was clear. We're going to stand up to her.
So there you have it, Sean. You were literally wrong on all 3 counts. You were wrong that these guys put the police at risk because they did not put the police at risk. They coordinated with law enforcement every step of the way. You were wrong that they were trying to intimidate officials because you took it out of context and didn't, seek them out to ask them about what was going on so you can make sure you had the proper context before you ran your mouth on national television. And you were also wrong that they did not get their message heard because they got exactly what they wanted with this rally, which you would have known if anyone on your team had bothered to track them down and actually ask them what their goal was. If you had engaged in any acts of journalism in the course of this segment, you would have discovered that you were wrong on all 3 of those counts with relatively 0 effort. I am not a journalist. Why do I have to do this stuff? Why does me, a random organizational psychologist in New Hampshire who's screwing around on the internet, why am I the one engaging in actual acts of journalism when you people are on national television every single day not doing your job? You have one job, and that is to tell people the truth. And so here's what I want from all of this. Sean, if you have any integrity at all, you owe these men a massive apology. You owe the organizers of this rally an apology for talking smack about them on your show in front of millions of people without bothering to take 2 seconds to get your facts straight. You should bring these men on your show, let them tell their story, and apologize for being wrong. That's what I want about this. And if you agree with that, if you agree that Sean Hannity owes these people an apology, then please share this video. Let's actually get this content in front of him so he can actually deal with facts rather than making stuff up and conjecture and all this nonsense that led to him being wrong on literally every single count. So share this video, get it in front of him, and I really hope, I truly do. I mean, listen, man, I rag on the left all the time on this channel, but now someone on the right has stepped up and has done exactly what we complain about the left doing all the time. And I really hope, I genuinely do, I really hope that Sean Hannity steps up to the plate and does the right thing and apologizes.